I'm Scott, one of the developers behind Shotgun, and I'm here to show you a small demo of how you can build a new project with Shotgun. You can also build features on an existing project, or you can have the Shotgun do research on existing projects. I'll show those in later demos. But right now we're starting from a brand new project. The best thing to do is open the Shotgun in the terminal of your favorite editor. So I have VS Code open, and I've opened the Shotgun in the terminal. And today we're going to build a very quick burn rate app just to showcase the Shotgun's ability to do research, specify, plan, generate tasks. Then we're going to hand it over to Claude Code and have Claude Code do the work of writing the app. So here I'm going to ask the Shotgun to figure out the public holiday schedule for Poland, where I am right now, so that we can figure out the number of days that are available per month. And then we can figure out later on, we'll figure out how many months we have available, and we figure out how many days we can work on our app. All right, so I've asked the Shotgun to do some research. It's going to come up with a research plan, probably. Yeah, looks good. So I'll tell it to go ahead. It's going to do a couple queries. So normally, when you would do like research and specify and plan, a lot of that happens manually now, where you go between like Claude, GPT-5 in the browser, and you'd kind of copy paste solutions, or you'd use an existing tool like Claude Code, Codex, or one of those. And when you ask it to do something, it kind of just will kind of jump into writing code, whereas the Shotgun will ask clarifying questions and try to help you flesh out your idea more fully before you ever even start writing code, which is one of the benefits of Shotgun. All right, so we can see that the Shotgun finished. It wrote some research here, and I've already done this a couple times, before recording this demo, but nagar.date. The API is free. It allows you to do as many calls as you want, and it works really well. It works perfectly for our situation. So the next thing I want to do is research how to model the burn rate for a one-person startup where you have expenses like monthly and quarterly, and I want to do it in pandas in Python. I've never really done financial modeling like this, so this is where I'm heavily leaning on the Shotgun's ability to do research and come back with something that will work well. All right, so the Shotgun came back with this plan about do some research, burn rate, financial modeling. Again, something I haven't done before, so it's good to kind of have that research done for me. Best practices, looks great. Looks great. All right, so now the Shotgun's going to do a couple web searches, and then it's going to compile that all into the same research document. So we'll come back when that's finished. All right, so it finished the web searches. It's checking back on the research.md file, and now it's going to append to that research.md file, so we can scroll down on this. So it's nice to have all the research in one place, and you'll see why later when we go and build out the spec and we build out the plan. This is much easier than kind of having a history in Claude or GPT-5 on the web, where you kind of have to copy and paste between different browsers and files and stuff like that. And then also in a later demo, when I do show you code-based understanding, it'll make a lot more sense because the Shotgun does have code-based understanding, and when I do a demo where there is code, it will do a really good job at understanding the code that exists and also telling you about it. But here, the Shotgun did some research on financial modeling. Again, not something I know about, so we're just gonna have to roll with this. It looks like it would work. Yeah. All right, so we can kind of go forward with this. But if you're building like a more extensive project, you would analyze this, look at these things, do a little bit more research, kind of go back and forth, have it ask you clarifying questions. So let's move on to building out the spec. So I'm going to shift tab, and you'll notice that it says specify mode. And I'm going to tell it to build a comprehensive burn rate calculator with investment liquidation recommendations. Use Streamlit, UV. I want to be able to do monthly, quarterly, yearly expenses, and then also the important thing, ask me clarifying questions. this is something the shotgun does really well, is ask clarifying questions. So we just need to wait for that to percolate a little bit. All right, so I'm going to help you build a comprehensive burn rate calculator. Before I create the spec, I need a few questions answered. All right, so for investment liquidation, you can see the summary of the questions here. This was actually suggested by a user, so I released a video of this earlier, and one of the users in Discord suggested that we do this. So thanks to him, this exists now. So Q1, for investment liquidation recommendations, what criteria should the calculator use? Cash, then mutual funds, then CDs. So again, I'm not a financial modeling expert, so you'll have to bear with me here. Should the calculator account for penalties when liquidating investments? No. We'll just keep it really simple. What tool do you want to handle multiple scenarios? Just the base case, please. And again, this is asking me questions, and this is just, we're not going back and forth with the LLM just yet. This is just the LLM has asked a bunch of questions. I have the opportunity to, put them in here, and I have this nice summary ahead of time so I can kind of read them, and then that influences my questions and how I answer them. But this is just a nice way to kind of communicate back to the LLM what I want. And it can ask questions again after this too, before it writes the spec, if it has any clarifying questions left. For the investment inputs, what do you track? Yeah. For CDs, maturity, date, expected yield. For mutual funds. Should calculate just one. All right, this is getting really complicated. Do you want to track income? Yes. All right, so we're gonna let that sit for a bit and see what it comes back with. Looks like it's gonna write the spec now. We've answered all its questions, so just give it a minute. All right, so it wrote a comprehensive spec for us. Yeah, all right. And we can see it here. So the shotgun creates this .shotgun directory, and this is what you really want the ID for. And here we can see it created a nice spec for us using, Streamlit, UV, expenses, and we can like edit this directly, and then we can also tell the shotgun to edit it for us. So if we don't really like something, we can easily edit it. So how the project structure should look, what some of the code should look like. Yeah, so we can really just start building the plan for this. So the next thing is, now that we like the spec, we've reviewed it, I have no qualms with this. So again, Shift Tab, and you notice planning mode. So now I'm going to paste my plan requests here. So build a complete core functionality first, add polish later. And let's see if it asks clarifying questions or, oh, it's going to write the plan. All right. Come back to that in a second. All right, so it wrote the plan for me here, and the nice thing you can do in Visual Studio is you can, obviously preview Markdown files. So here I can actually see the plan really nicely, and if there were any mermaid documents, I've installed the mermaid. If there are any mermaid diagrams, I've installed the mermaid Markdown preview, and that will show up nicely if the plan included a a mermaid diagram. All right, so this plan looks good. Let's have it generate tasks. So again, switch tab or shift tab to switch modes. So tasks mode and generate tasks for this project. I prefer working software early as possible. Use TDD and ask clarifying questions. So this way we'll get a couple clarifying questions about the tasks before we generate them. All right. All right. Focus core stages. Software quickly. Separate task before implementation. Bundle testing with each task. Do all right. What level granularity for? I prefer like create models. Ooh, that's a good question. Split into write tests for expense model. I prefer the less granular approach of create expense model. Should I tasks for running? Should I include tasks for running validating the app key milestones? That's a good question. Yes. You should include tasks that require Claude to test the application without, because I don't have a really good way to let Claude test with the browser just yet, hooked up for this demo. And I'll test at the very end myself. Okay, so it'll take these clarifying questions and build us a nice list of tasks for us. I'll come back to that in a second. All right, so it created the task list for us. And stage 1, project setup, UV init, Streamlit. Yeah, it looks good. And then final verification, I think this part it will wait for me to test. Yeah, manual testing milestones. All right, so we're gonna let Claude Code do the autopilot thing here. And in order for that to really work well, we have to create a Claude.md for us. And so again, shift tab to the export mode. And I need a Claude.md for this project. So come back when that's done. All right, so the shotgun read the specs, the plan, the task, just to make sure that everything was up to date. Then it wrote a Claude.md file. And so here, included the project overview, the dev environment setup, testing infrastructure, build deployment, and this way, when we do pass this off to Claude, it'll have a nice, easier way to handle working with the shotgun. So I'm just going to do one thing and move this Claude to the base of the repository to move it outside of the shotgun. Because right now the shotgun is kind of only locked to this folder, which we'll enable later so it can do a few more things. But right now we can hand this over to Claude. All right. Hey, now we're going to say, Claude, build this project for me. Let me see what, let me just check really quick which model I'm using. All right, let's go back to Sonnet. All right, build this project for me, Claude. I'm hoping on you here. Don't let me down. So found shotgun.tasks, Claude.md. presenting a plan. Yeah. So it's going to build exactly what we told it to build. So we'll let Claude cook on this and come back to it. All right, so Claude actually did build out exactly what we wanted. There was one error, and it was because I didn't tell it to, start up the site and check it out. But if I did put it in one of the tasks, it would have tried that. So here, I've started it up, and we can add a couple of expenses. So let's do that right now. So this actually worked pretty well. So I'm not gonna put my actual expenses in income in here, but income left it blank because assuming that we're building a one-person startup. And then I just put in some expenses here. This worked really well. There were no errors here. Quarterly, didn't put anything in there yet, but yearly, I put in the dentist. And then it actually did a really good job. Cash depleted after 19 months, mutual funds after 31, and CDs were depleted after 39 or 59. So, this actually worked pretty well. And like, if we, all I really did here was, tell it like, hey, there was this one problem. And after that, it followed the entire spec that we wrote, and did exactly what we wanted. So this worked really well. I didn't write any code here. The shotgun helped me write the spec, and then this built it for me. So this is pretty cool. You should definitely give it a try. Again, install the shotgun. It's $10 a month, and if you want the subscription, it's $10 a month. You get $10 for the usage right now, or you can always bring your own key. That's always an option. But yeah, thanks. Remember to like and subscribe.